So this is the SIDUR RECHOVOT and NAHAR, and I just want to point out that there are other SIDURim besides this one. This is the most common. However, it is Sfardi. We also have the Kudus Kesef, which is Nusach Sfard. That's really what I use mostly. It's because it matches better. I daven with Ashkenaz, so it's been easier. It's easier that way. But this is the SIDUR RECHOVOT and NAHAR, and let me see if I can figure out how to open it up to the place where we're at. Yesterday I felt like I really got something out of it, but I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just figuring that, let's see, that's the wrong one. Where would be the right one? Okay, this one. Let's try this one. So really we're at the end. Let me just give you an idea of the page that we're going to be working on. The end of the sequence of where we're going to deliver, I guess, so to speak, the Shefa that is coming from up above. That's the wrong one. It's this one. There we go. Let's take a look at what looks like on the page. This seems to be what I've been able to do and try to get myself some orientation. Again, let's see how I can explain this. In every situation, he pretty much shows you the same oros. So if he says that the oros are coming from here he said the tzadi de ava ve'ima ve'yasas, what is the tzadi? That's the aspect of the light that's coming from Abba ve'ima and Yasas into Zeir Anpin. And the tzadi de tzalim goes along. You should know this concept if you're able to follow this, but I'll explain. There is a tzalim, tzadi lamed mem. We're going to see it a lot of times. And the tzadi is the aspect of the light of Ima or Tzivuna, which actually goes into Zeir Anpin. We call it this really pretty much as the neshama. That's the Panemius is Zeir Anpin, but there are two other lights which are called the Lamed Tzalim and the Mem Tzalim. Now, in the Otzos Chaim and the Eitz Chaim, they discuss why they're called. One's called the Tzadi, which is basically breaks down to the number 9. Then you also have the concept of the Lamed, which is the number 3. If you break it down, what do they call this? Mispar cotton. You really get down to it, take all the 10s out, you get down to the basic number. And then the Mem, which is the number 4. If you break it down from 40, Mem is 40, break it down, take the 0 away, it's 4. It explains over there why we're doing this, which is basically the part that goes in, the parts that can't go in because their lights are too strong. But the Lamed Tzalim represents Chochmah, Bina, and Das. So then the Mem Tzalim represents the Chochmah, Bina, Chesed Das, and Gevuras Das. There's a whole discussion about how that comes out, just to remind those who maybe have heard this before. So this is the Vok, the Tzaddik. So now he says, to make it easy for me, he says the Tzaddik apparently has 10 spheros in it. Why not? It goes into Zeir Anpin, it's in the Neshama, it goes through the entire Zeir Anpin. But this part here is only the Vok, the lower 6 spheros of the Tzadi, which is going into Zeir Anpin, and it comes from where? Abba ve'ima Eloi, and that's Chochmah and Bina, and Yisrael Savat Devuna, which are also called by those names too, but it's an extension down. These are the lights. And once again, we always see the Makif and the Panemi. There's always 2 lights. We see this in other places. If you listen to the SHIURim on the Shar Kavanot, we're going to get to tomorrow, he's going to talk about the fact that they always exist together, even though that what we're looking at is really what's going into us, but on the outside it's there too. So we have here Keser, right? Keser, the Makif. This is the Panemi. Why those 2 were chosen? In other words, why don't you reverse it? Why could the Panemi be the Makif and the Makif be the Panemi? But this is what the RASHASH tells us. We could come down lower, I guess. I gave you the idea of the page. So he says that then you go like this. This is what the light of Keser looks like. Then every part of that's what I wanted to say. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. And every parts of the lights are the same. They are going to be more physical as we get to Partsufim that are lower. But the idea, the lights themselves inside of the Partsuf is going to look the same. So this is what the look of Kesser, which Menukah with the comets. This is Chochmah, which is Menukah with a Patach. Then we have the Segel, the Seri, which refers to Bina. And then we have the split part here, which has to do with Das. So this is what Das looks like. It splits, and it has this mixed vocalization. That's part of the thing about it. This is the middle line. Then we come over here to Chesed, Segel, Gevura, which is a Shva, and then once again into the middle, which is going to be Tiferes. Tiferes is the middle line. So here now we're showing the string on the middle line. So then we have Netzach. It's Menukah with a Hirik. And we have Hod, which is Menukah with a Kubutz. And then once again, we're in the middle, and this is the look of what we see in Yesod. Like I say, that when we look at the RASHASH as we go forward, we're going to see the same lineup many times. But we're talking about different partsufim. So our idea, or the idea that the Rav is teaching us, is that for something to come in, we're talking here about the tzaddik tzelem. That's the part that actually the shama that goes into Zeir Anpin, who is the master template of all reality. So he says for that light to come in, it has to be minimized. And that's the concept of the tzaddik tzelem. So we go through these bright lights, bright light, bright light, bright light. It's dimmer when you come down to the tzaddik tzelem. Now that is when you get down to Yesod, which is where we want it to be. Now he says that was the tzaddik de Abba ve'imva v'yasos. And now we're going to go through another set of lights. Now you're going to see that looking at it, if you compare what we have here to compare what we just looked at up above, they're the same. But they're not in the same place. So these are going to be the Malchios, because this is what we want to deliver. We want to deliver this of the Tzaddik Tzelem. So before we took the Vok. That was this part up on the top. He says this is the Vok, the 6 spheros, Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, and Yesod, and he shows that to us. And they're going to go into Zeir Anpin, and then he says, but wait a minute, there's another sphera out there, which is Malchus. So this is what the Malchus comes in. So everything is coming into Malchus. Let's see what he says. He says, Malchios, the Tzaddik, the Abba, ve'imba, v'yasa. So this is the Malchios, that's the 7th sphera, that's now going to be moving down. So once again, Keser, Chochmah, Bina, Das, Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, all of these are Malchios. And he says like this, where is this going? That's what we're tracing. And this is ultimately what happens with the tzitzios. The tzitzios are going to contain a tremendous amount of light. And this is going where? To the Nai, which is a Netzach, Hod, Yesod, of Ma'u ben de Partsufi Kachbad. Now, this is one we got to work on. The Abiyah de Za, the Abiyah de Bia, the Hitzonius de Tzilus. And we had this technique which I'm trying to use and see if that works okay. That we read it backwards. Because what we're trying to get is, remember the first word is, it's going to this place. What's the place? Well, the place is in Tzilus. Tzilus is the ultimate template of all reality. So let's say it's going to the Tzilus, but what part is it going to? It's going to the outside, the Hitzonius. Now he says, this is where it gets more complicated, if you ask me. The Abiyah. Abiyah is Tzilus, Bria, Yitzir, and Asiyah. Turns out that he's saying that the Hitzonius of Tzilus also has different light qualities or parts of qualities. It's the parts of Tzilus are there's a world. That's the word, olamos. There are hidden aspects in here because olam means also helem, which means hidden, in 4 different parts. In other places, he would say that this could be possibly another set of 4, like Yud K Vav K. Or we have Tanta, which we've seen before in other places, which is Tamim, Nekudos, Tagim, and Osios. We have these combinations. Question is like if you take a kaleidoscope and you keep or prism, you keep refracting the light and changing the colors, then you will see that there are different dimensions in it, and that's what he's trying to tell us here. But he says, wait a minute, it's not just the abia, it's the abia of the avia of the abia, right? So if you have, let's say these are, I'm not saying they're colors, just to say that they're 4 different colors. So just to find some kind of metaphor. And in those 4 different colors are 4 different colors. So I'm not sure how you add this up. It seems to me that it's the number 16. But anyway, we'll go on. This is from Zer Anpin. The Zer Anpin, the Ravabia of the Kachbad of this Abia. Abia again, once again, is the all of the different places. That is the Atzilus and the Bria and the Yetzira and the Asiya of Zer Anpin. Now let's read it across the top, across the bottom, and we'll try to get an understanding. Lanai de ma'u ben de partsufi. So partsufi is in plural. That is, it goes to the male aspect and the female aspect. Now you'd like to see, well, let's get a good understanding of the male aspect and what it looks like and what the female aspect looks like. But here is what's going into it. So it's giving us that there's a male aspect and a female aspect. It's the top part Sufi of Keser, Chochma, Bin, and Das, each one of them in addition, an individual partsuf. The Abiyah Dezah of the 4 different hidden worlds within Zer Anpin. Which part of Zer Anpin? The Abiyah, that is the hidden worlds, inside of the hidden worlds of the Chitzonius, the Atzilus, of the outside of Atzilus. So from the last part, the Abiyah, the Atzilus, the Chitzonius, Atzilus, what's the difference between Chitzonius and Panemius? I don't know. In this case, why he brought it like this, so I'll say what I think he means. I think he means that the place that it hits the beginning, the light that's shining here, we're talking about the tzaddik going back up to the top. This is all the tzaddik, the vok of the tzaddik. So that's the chesed through Yesod, and then he brings the malchus, the tzaddik, and all of these are going to go into the kitzonius of Atzilus. That's pretty much what he said. Now that is, I was thinking that would be nice. I'm not sure. Yeah. If I just made, at this point, highlights of where we have been up to this time as we're about to get into the concept of tefillin. You'll see a lot of the same letters and combinations of ideas and directions and places of reception of Shefa. And that's our job right here, is to find out where things are coming from and where things are going. Now, this was the Hakafot Teva. That's the first thing we learned. Each day has something different about it. I'm thinking that it would really be nice if I could do this. It's not in my vocabulary, so to speak, to actually take the time to go first and go through all of this, but I'd like to. I don't know if I will. So then we see this is what's happening when we're going around the teva. This is the first time we go around. We're going to go around 7 times. And then the Hakafot. Let me bring it back up so that we could see the whole page at one time. Then we have the next Hakafot. I'm thinking that what I'd like to do is read just the, I don't know how much we have of this, is to read the notes a little bit. V'yakiv zayin hakafos es hateva. So go around the Bima, shehu sod hanuk, which is the secret of the nook. Now the nook is always what's the right word? Always portrayed by the Rav as a circle or a ball or something like that, an orbit, something that is circular. The lahamshek law elo hamakifim. Now we're going to bring her these makifim. The lakalo atzmo im hanuk, and you're thinking of yourself to incorporate. He says incorporate yourself in the nook. The kabbalah ma'oros elul, to receive from the lights that we're going to be looking at. B'yomer kodem hakafa nusach zeh. So then we have this. You'll see that many times in the future. So then he writes, Hine anochi ba lahakiv zayin hakafos l'teva. So this is how you start out. This is your kavanah. That was an idea that I wanted to share with you, but it's very difficult for me to explain it. That's a couple ideas. But I forgot what I was going to say, so let's go on. Hine anochi ba lahakiv zayin hakafos l'teva. So this is what we say. The lahamshik or makiv devok dezah. El Rochel Imenu. So we're saying that you look at yourself as I seem to say that he anochi ba lahakiv zayin hakaf the teva the hamshek or makif the vok the zeranpen El Rochel Imenu. So we're dealing with this condition right here. We're going to try to bring Shevat to Rachel. V'alai ani abdecha Yached ima malchus. So I, by myself, are thinking that I'm going to be malchus, or I'm going to join myself to malchus. V'oros ha-mekif mahem yakifu osano. So these surrounding lights, these called the makif, they should surround us. Mikol tzedadenu, on all of our sides. V'betzel kanefecha tastirenu, and in the wings of the shadow of the wings, you should guard us. Masi yedena konano aleinu, and then the deeds of our hands, let them make them prepare for this. Masi yedena konanehu, and then let the deeds of the hands. Now, what's this? I don't know this very well. I don't know why Masa Yedenu is important here, but the concept, I think, is shaping the shefa that comes to the nook from the outside. So he's a Masa Yedenu. So the nukva is considered olamatzia, which is the world of action, of doing things. So we have the concept here of molding something with the hands. So let's go on. This is the first Hakafot. We're not going to get into the details. Anybody that wants to do this, get the SIDUR, and you could try that. Then it says, Vayikavan lahamshek or makif. Where's the makif going to come from? Migar the Kesser, from the Kesser has 10 spheros, and it has a Chochma Bina Das there. Im the Nechida Yechida, together with this light. This is a very, very high light. This is the light of Netzach, saying around Neshama Chayin Yechida, the highest forms of light, the more pure light, which means the Yechida, which is the purest of the light. What does pure mean in Kabbalah? It means it's almost transparent, like not there. So, but very powerful energy. And then he shows you the oroses that are coming down. Then he said, V'yakavi lahamshek makif or choser, the chesed, yom b'shvu, according to whatever day of the week that we're dealing with here, dezah, derech piv, shuhu ekye b'nikud segel. This one is hard for me. I don't really understand it too good. He says, you have the kavanah here, lahamshech makif the or choser. Now, the question is, where's this more choser going? More choser is really refers to maim nukvin, or what's going from the bottom to the top. He says, from makif the or choser, the chesed. So he says, this is according to, I don't know what Yom Shavua means at this time. So he said, let's skip that. He said, the Or Choser, the Chesed, the Zah has, well, it's basically 6 spheros, and Chesed is the first one. Derech Piv, through his mouth. It comes out of Zer Anpin. Shuhu Ekye Benikud Segel, which is this what it looks like, he says. The Chesed Denuk, we're trying to get that into the Chesed Denuk, and this Ekye is going to go into this Havaya, Shuhu Havaya Benikud Segel. Then you say, Yirav Tzomach Vanecho, Elokeinu Be'elokei Avosenu, Shebekoich Segulas Hakafa Rishona, so that this should work for us. Shekeneged Pasuk, and this Hakafa refers to this Pasuk, I guess you would say this Pasuk, Elohim Yechanenu, Yuvarchenu Yared Pananu V'Tanu Sal. So give us grace, bless us, and then let the light of your shine, your Panav Itanu, let the light of your face shine on us continuously. So I didn't really mean to get into this, but I'm interested in trying to see if I made any progress between when we first read it and coming back over here. So Yemashek or Makif de Chesed Deza El Malchus Nuk Kadisha Deza to the dot or whatever, the back side of Zerah, from the chest downward, is the location of the Nukva. Bala Yachtav Yakif Osano, and on me also, together with that concept. Yakif Osano Mikala Sadadena V'Yoyer Sham, let it shine on us too. Then he shows you the Ana B'Koach. So if you didn't catch it, but we went through a misunderstanding here of the use of the word Ana B'Koach, at least of the letters. I thought you could pronounce the letters the way that I understood some, but now I see that actually you're able to pronounce Ana B'Koach. That's what you can pronounce, just the words. So he says, Hayotze Meroshe Tevos, and he shows you the Yotze of the Ana B'Koach. Ana B'Koach could do this Yemidach Tatzit Sevuah, and he rides it out. Yehi Chasdecha Chadanenu Aleinu, Kasher Yachalno Loch. So let it all fall on us, fall on you. Let me see the pasuk. Yehi Chascha Hashem Elokeinu. Let your chesed be on us. Kasher Yachalnu Loch. Let me look up the word Yachalnu. Let's see what it means. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. So I looked this up in I got the word Yachalnu is Lashon Techila. It doesn't make good sense. I think it's more like the word Cholos, which means to fall. So he said, let's read it. Yehi Chasdecha Hashem Aleinu. This is the first thing you say. Kasher Yachalnu Loch, like it falls, like it begins for you. Kasher Yachalnu Loch. One more time. Try to pick it up a different way. Okay, so I found this there's a much greater, in Google and going through all this, a much greater help to be able to find the location of the pasuk. And here we have the translation by the Art Scroll. May your kindness, Hashem, be upon us just as we awaited you. So he said, Yachalnu Loch, that we waited for you. May your kindness, Hashem, be upon us just as we awaited you. That is, bring your Shefa onto us. So I think that's what it means. Anyway, this is like we're getting to the limits of my ability here. And so we want to keep working on this RASHASH SIDUR. And I realize that you have a very poor, let's say, reader over here in me, because I'm just very, very, I don't know that much. I just don't know it. That's what we're trying to do here, is learn it, so that we could actually perform these mitzvahs. This is Baruch Fleischman here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel. We'll continue on our review, and then we're going to start into Tefillin.